Top Gun Show. This is the Top Gun Show. The Top Gun Show. With Steve Farmer. Welcome to the Top Gun Show. This is the Top Gun Show. The Top Gun Show with Steve Farmer.
Well, welcome to the Top Gun Show, where I bring you new providers, new technologies, and introduce you to the best professionals in the telecom and technology industries, all so you can make informed decisions. Today, I'd like to welcome Murray White, the Director of Solutions Consulting for OpenText, the sponsor of the Top Gun Show. Murray and his team work with customers and partners across the Americas, helping customers and partners address modern security challenges around data protection, endpoint security, and cloud resilience. Murray, your life is complete. You made it onto the Top Gun Show.
Thanks so much for having me here, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you guys on. You guys are an amazing company, and I want to get the word out and help you out. So anyway, hey, from your experience leading cybersecurity solutions consulting, what do you think is the biggest gap you see, how executives think about cyber risk, and how it actually shows up during incidents?
Yeah, great one to start off with here, and a great question. I think when it gets to the C level, and maybe this even extends down the ladder some as well, is it's often viewed, cyber risks are viewed as prevention. It's a prevention-only problem, and that's obviously not the case. In reality, it's about resilience, right? So there's layers to cybersecurity. The words maybe I'll probably use more than once here today in our brief discussion here is prevent and protect, right? Plan not for perfection, but for disruption, right? And when incidents occur, recovery speed defines the business impact, right? So it's not all just about having perimeter security. There's layers to it. So design for reality, not perfection, kind of a theme I keep in my mind when I'm speaking with professionals.
Yeah, good. I like it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, the next question is somewhat related, but it's kind of the reverse. What do you see as the most common mistakes that executives make when evaluating cybersecurity platforms?
Yeah, top of mind there, I think thinking of tools in isolation. I think it's, with so many vendors on the market, lots of products, competing solutions, it's natural for C-levels, for IT directors, others, responsible for security within a given organization, go hunt around and find the best deal, right? The best dollar deal on products. But I think it goes beyond that. Company I work for offers great value solutions, don't get me wrong, but we bring those together, right? Using the prevent and protect theme again. Point solutions, right? They increase complexity, right? During actual incidents. When I say point solutions, I'm talking about, you may have 15 different tools in play from 12 different vendors. So the more you can consolidate that, and you're not necessarily going to have perfection when it comes to having one portal, one platform that has everything built into it. But if you have fewer vendors that you're working with, and maybe the a vendor that you're working with, such as OpenText cybersecurity, we cover a lot of landscape. So there's a lot of benefits to that. Fewer tools, right? Together, work speeding across lots of tools together. Easier. Kind of my response to that, when I wanted to expand on it.
Yeah, that's good. It's a little complicated. I mean, I was preparing for these interviews with OpenText, and I found a statistic that the U.S. last year in 2024 had over 108,000 security service businesses registered in the U.S. alone. So it's like, you can't really blame them for being a little bit confused,
Sure. And that's a great point. It's not just trying to seek down the best dollar value for a given product or solution, how easy it is to use that solution as well, and to communicate procure, understand what you're buying, and, obviously as a vendor that covers a lot of cybersecurity landscape, that's trusted advice.
Yeah. So where do you see organizations struggling the most as cybersecurity threats continue to evolve?
Yeah, I would say one that really stands out, operational fatigue, right? And it depends on the aspect of cybersecurity being handled up, right, on a given day, given hour. It could be threat detection, right, where you've got a console, got a security operations center, for example, in play, and there's just a lot of alerts flowing through the system. Can you manage that? Can you handle that? Do you have the ability, the resources, right, internally to even handle such a thing? Some do. Some, more often than not, we're finding that that's a service, right, that is very beneficial to companies. We provide such services. That's just one element. You start looking into the data protection side of our business. We've got disaster recovery as a service. So I really want to impress here that, when it's cybersecurity, it's not product, right? It's product and service, which really wins out. And we're really strong. Not sure if I can think of any other comments to add to that, maybe other than just better integration, right? All goes back to the vendor that you're working with, and the more you have consolidated solutions with a given vendor, the better relationship, or from support through to getting issues remedied, and so on.
Yeah, it turns into a trust issue. I mean, the more you lean heavily into each other, it's the more security you have.
Right, on being trusted advisors. We sell solutions rather than just product.
Right. Well, Murray, hey, I know you're a big fan of the Top Gun show because you got a mug. So I don't know if you know this, but there are millions and millions of people watching you right now, and they want to know something personal about Murray. They want to know a fun little known fact.
Yeah, I'm going to make you disappoint and take this off of me as a personal individual. Something like, right? So several people close to me are aware of this, but I'll share with the broader audience. Keen genealogist, okay, nothing special in that, but one of my findings in recent years was a relative to me that his great-grandfather was my third great-grandfather. So I'll let you connect the dots there. That's, in short, a second cousin, a couple of generations removed. But the gentleman's name was Henry Allen, passed away in 2009. And I'm reading off a bullet point here because I don't want to mess up the information, but he's the longest lived man ever recorded from the UK, as and when he passed away in 2009. He was aged 113. He was the last survivor of the Battle of Jutland, the last surviving member of the Royal Naval Air Service, and the last surviving founding member of the Royal Air Force. So for 1 month, he was the verified oldest living man in the world. So again, nothing special about me here, but very proud and prideful of that somewhat distant ancestor, but certainly pretty close.
So maybe it's in your genes. I mean, what do you have to do to beat him? Live to be 130? Is that what you said?
You work in, cybersecurity specifically. I don't know if 113. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to make it to that, but yeah.
Well,
obviously a long and very storied life there, and very, very proud of what he did within the services and so on. Obviously not knowing him personally, but certainly being alive within my lifetime. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you live that long, I'll have you on the show again. But then I'll be like 30 years older than you. So I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do this.
Would love to be back. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Well, Murray, hey, I know you're busy. Thank you so much for carving out time out of your busy schedule to be on the Top Gun show today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Much obliged. Thanks.
Thanks for watching, everybody.